You use the word legacy, and legacies are important. But if you look at the legacy of Fidel Castro, his people did want to leave their country. There was massive oppression and lockdowns of political dissidents and opponents. Middle class suffered greatly, set them back decades. So why the reflexive desire for some to see him as this cult hero and anything other than he was, which was a dictator who suppressed his people?
Well, I think that, God bless you, I think that is an accurate summary, Pete, of the Castro on the dark side. But on the other side, if you were from the middle down in Cuban society, in the hierarchy, and you got free medicine that you didn't have under the dictator Batista, if you got if you could start a little business, if you could get access to higher education that you couldn't get unless you were an elite under Batista, the dictator that preceded communism and Castro and led to the revolution, you think of Castro in a whole different way. And I think that in fairness, when you look at him and you talk about him, and I heard Governor Huckabee and slamming him, and he's a creep and a dictator and a repressive monster and all the rest. But if you ask the man in the street in Havana today, sure, they want to be in Miami or New York.
The man in the street couldn't give their honest opinion because they don't have free speech. The man in the street couldn't talk because they'd be jailed if they were an opponent.
Well, I've been to Cuba several times, particularly back in those days when they were really shut off. I think that it's very easy to have a simplistic view that he was all awful for Cuba and the world, and I just don't think that's accurate. I think that the Cubans have a tremendous sense of pride over his legacy, and I think that he will be remembered fondly. Yes, he was a leftist. Yes, he was a communist. Yes, his economic system failed. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, the Cuban medicine is renowned the world over. There are aspects of what he left behind that I think will be remembered.
We're going to have to break this up. Back to your neutral corners. We're going to have to break this up.